right, 8 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. If you noticed a little glitch right there where we had a moment of dead air, I am responsible for that.
Oh.
And I want to tell you why you had dead air, because I was reading something on a website about our next guest, and oh my gosh, I can't. Can I read this just to you real quickly?
Yeah, he's amazing.
On a beautiful spring morning in 1989, neurosurgeon and spine expert Volker Sonntag was just finishing rounds at St. Joseph's Hospital in Phoenix, Arizona. At that same moment, 16 miles away, a hard-charging boy named TJ veered his bicycle into the path of a speeding pickup truck. The impact all but killed the boy, leaving him with a shattered leg, severe internal injuries, a massive blood clot near the brainstem, and, but for the fragile spinal cord, a complete separation of the skull from the spine. Holy mackerel. And that's why there was dead air, because I read that and I wasn't even paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing here. Dr. Volker Sonntag is on the phone. The book is called Backbone. It's called the subtitle, The Life and Game-Changing Career of a Spinal Neurosurgeon. There are so many credentials in front of me. Let me just touch on some of them. World-renowned spinal neurosurgeon. He made international headlines. I just told you that part about the boy. Consistently voted as one of the best doctors in America. Good morning, sir. What an honor to have Dr. Volker Sonntag on the phone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My pleasure.
Are you in Arizona right now?
I am.
My gosh, what a thing. Oh, how's the boy doing now, can I ask?
Last time he checked, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, he was playing baseball.
Oh, my gosh. So how old would he be now? 16 plus?
Yeah, he's probably about 18, 19. That was, well, no, he's older than that.
Oh, yeah. No, he was 16. Wait, how old was he?
He was 8. He was 8 when, when I operated on him.
Oh, okay. So he's got to be 30-something by now, right?
30-something.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you saved his life. There's no way. And everything else. How much of the surgery, how long did that surgery take, first of all?
About 6 hours.
Gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Had you ever seen anything like that in all of your career up until that point?
No, no. No, because of the newer diagnostic techniques with a quick CT scan, MRI scan, we were able to make the diagnosis quickly. And he was injured in the morning, 7 or so, and we were in the operating room at 4 o'clock.
It said the spinal cord was still intact. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
If it had been severed, he would have been dead, right?
That is correct, because that also controls breathing.
Okay, what about I don't know if the word bruising is correct, but if we injure the spinal cord, can it be fixed? I think that was what happened to the guy who played Superman, right?
Oh, Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a complete injury. I know his case, and I saw his x-rays. He had a complete injury, but he was fortunate enough to have people breathe for him right away. He had the similar injury as TJ has, except he also injured his spinal cord. So that's why he was quadriplegic.
How has it all changed in the years that have passed? And almost 30 years now, 28 years, I guess it would be. How has medicine increased to the point where you could fix somebody like a Christopher Reeves?
If the spinal cord is severed, cut, we have nothing for that. If the spinal cord is contused, yes, we have better techniques to help the spinal cord recover with medicine as well as quicker diagnosis, which is so important.
I don't understand why, when you did this amazing surgery, you had some challenges from people, political stuff and all that. I mean, what happened there?
Well, that was later on when neurosurgeons decided to do instrumentation, and we had some political challenges from our orthopedic colleagues.
Oh my gosh, did that not make sense? That makes no sense at all. Am I right? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it didn't make any sense to me, but those were the facts. That now it's all that is over. But in those days, my political friend, my orthopedic friends did not think that neurosurgery should do what we call instrumentation of the spine.
But you were a pioneer in this field, and that is what really is frustrating, because you knew practically everything about the ins and outs, and it was safe to try, which you did.
Well, yes, I thought so, that neurosurgeons were capable of doing instrumentation. But there was a turf battle for a while, and eventually I think everybody accepted that neurosurgeons were capable of doing that.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
We're all human, but when you're a doctor and you're working on a child like that, does the father that you are, does the son that you are, in other words, does it all play a role? Is it in your mind as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to save a life? Is there a mental thing? Because 6 hours is a long time. You must have been thinking about your own mother, your own children. I don't even know your personal story, but is that part of it?
It's part of it before the surgery, certainly part of it before the surgery, and it's part of it after the surgery. Once we get in that operating room, I'm totally focused. Most surgeons, you're just totally focused, and you're not. Then when you realize, when you're done, it's an 8-year-old boy, and he has a family, he has a mother waiting. That hits after the surgery, hits before the surgery. During the surgery, we're just totally focused.
So Backbone introduces us to you, and not necessarily to the science. Am I right?
That is correct. Or both to an extent, but yes.
Okay. I find it interesting. I just went to your website, by the way. I'm looking at the slideshow of your family. This could be my family's pictures. Except I never went to Africa. But these look like my mother's side of my family came from Germany. It sounds like you were born there. Were you born there?
I was born in Germany, yes.
And it tells such a very enlightening story about you. I mean, you spent your childhood in a refugee camp, and that had to have been not really a good experience.
Yeah, it was between. I remember very little of that because I was 1 to 4, and the only thing I remember is my younger brother being attacked by a rooster in the refugee camp. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, when you're age, once we were in the town where my dad again started practicing as a dentist, I remember all of that very well. But in my infant years, I remember very little of those days.
So when did you come to? When did your family move here, or at least move out of Germany?
Yeah, we immigrated in 1957 to Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh my gosh! And you fell in love with Phoenix? Do you ever get back to Germany at all?
Yes, often, very often. I give talks there. When I get invited to Germany, I tend to say yes, and hopefully bring my family. So once a year or so. Last year I was there twice a year. This year I'm not going, but going near Germany a couple of times. But yes, I'd like to go back, visit family. All of my family, except my younger brother, is in Germany.
And because of your dad being in the medical profession, were you and your family spared some of the unpleasantries that other families might have experienced?
No, I don't think so. My dad was a dentist and had very little contact with the medical doctors. So it was a rough go there in the early part of the 50s in Germany. And then, of course, he became ill, and he couldn't operate anymore. He had a brain abscess.
Oh.
So what are your thoughts on the immigration things in the news today? Is it the same today for those people fleeing, like Syria, for example, as it was for your family fleeing Germany?
I think I'm extremely proud to be an American, and I think these individuals, the refugees, I think America should welcome them, but they should come legally, not illegally. Mm-hmm. And I became a citizen in 1966 after my 5 years that I had to be here and take the test, and I'm very proud of that. And I don't think why other immigrants can't go that route as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I think everybody just stood up and applauded that statement right there.
I think so.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving your website, by the way. All right, let me get, if you don't mind, squeeze in a little break right here. The book is called Backbone. It's so interesting. The story of a man who, gosh, almost looks like your father, Robin.
Oh.
He has a resemblance to your dad. All right, we'll take a little break and we will be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to tune in to the first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. to learn about the latest advances in healthcare available right here at home. Ocala Regional Medical Center and Strive have teamed up to bring the most qualified medical professionals on the air to answer your questions and bring information to help you in your decisions concerning your health. Again, that's the first and third Thursday. Health Matters.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Did you know Ocala has an award-winning adventure park? It's the Canyon Zipline and Canopy Tours. Wednesday, May 3rd at 10 a.m., Tracy Walker, their president and board member of the Marion County Tourist Development Council, will be in the WOCA studios, where we will discuss the exciting tours available and the importance of tourism to us and the state. Just imagine soaring from one tree stand to the other. These amazing tours will have your adrenaline flowing. Again, that's May 3rd at 10 a.m.
All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of times when we speak to doctors who've been in their field for decades, we will say, how has technology changed your field over the years? And many of the changes in the field of neurosurgical and orthopedic, I hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, many of the changes in the field that Dr. Sonntag is in were actually because of him. I just can't stop being amazed by his information. It says he made international news, with the reattachment of the boy's head. We told him about that. It says here, what did not make sensational headlines are the inroads to neurosurgery Dr. Sonntag pioneered, advances that dramatically continue to save and improve lives of thousands of patients with spine and head injuries. Dr. Sonntag insisted on trying cutting-edge techniques that resulted in hostile turf wars between neurosurgical and orthopedic surgeons over one of the most controversial topics of the early 1990s, and that is the role in the spine at a time of game-changing technical advances. He prevailed, Dr. Sonntag prevailed, and the techniques that he championed are now part of routine spinal surgery. My goodness. So when I ask other doctors what has changed, I don't ask you because you're the one who changed them.
Well, I was fortunate to be in the right time, in the right place as far as having neurosurgery advance in spinal instrumentation. And I was. It was a battle for about 4 years, but now we're all, if you will, doing the kumbaya together and treating patients.
Can you explain it to, like, in layman's terms? Like, what exactly did you do? Like, so that we understand it.
Sure. If you have a broken arm, you put a rod in. If you have a broken neck, you used to put absolute bed rest or put a halo on. With these advanced techniques of instrumentation, which I was in the front partly pioneered, that we put in instrumentation, which means in the neck we put in plates and screws instead of putting the patient in 12 weeks in a halo. In the low back we put in screws and rods to stabilize the spine. It's as similar as the rod in the arm, that the instrumentation keeps the areas which have been injured and unstable. The instrumentation keeps it stable while the bone fuses. So a bone cannot fuse if it moves, as again the arm fracture example is an example of. So you need to keep the bone immobile while the bone fuses. So when you break your neck, you put in a plate with screws, the bone is immobile, it fuses, and then the patient moves on to hopefully a better life.
I like your personal philosophy of your 4 H's.
Yes, they've been my steadfast: hope, humility, honesty, and hard work. Yes, they've been my standfast, and my daughter says that, Dad, you got to add humor as well. So that's the 5th H.
Oh, well,
there you go.
What about Hassenpfeffer? Does that go in there anyway?
Okay, that'll be the 6th H. That was good.
You said that even in death, you learn about life.
Yeah, no question. I mean, every time we treat a patient, we learn something from that patient, being a simple operation or very difficult operation, or even a patient, passing on without us being successful for keeping that patient alive. So, yeah, each patient gives us learning material to hopefully help the next patient.
The book is called Backbone, and it is written by our guest, and it gives us some insight into the man behind some of these amazing changes in spinal and neurosurgery. Dr. Volker K.H. Sonntag in Arizona right now. Let me go to the phone, take some calls. Thank you for calling. Good morning. You're on there with Dr. Sonntag.
Yes, thank you. Doctor, we hear about all these wonderful surgeries done to fetuses in the womb. Is there anything that can be done to a fetus that has a spine trouble? Are there any surgeries that have done in that area?
For myelomeningocele, yes, intrauterine surgery's been done, which is the splitting of the spinal cord, usually in the low part of the spine. Intrauterine surgery has been done for that. It's very, very new, very novel, and also for hydrocephalus, where you have water in the brain, shunts have been placed intrauterine. So yes, there has been some advances done in neurosurgery for abnormalities that the baby has intrauterine.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
My pleasure.
And what's amazing about you, sir, is that you are a teacher, but you also are a student. You never give up the insatiability to learn.
Well, that's correct. I think it would be foolish to think that we know everything or we're the master of all. And each day, even now, when I go to work, my colleagues ask me for consultation or look at this, look at that. And again, I teach that, but I also learn from that particular incident, that particular patient.
Let's take another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I got a quick question. I noticed everybody that have back surgery, they don't really fully recover, because I think about Tiger Woods and the basketball coach for the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr. He's still having problems, and he had his surgery like either about 2 years or a year ago, but then he's still having so many problems. So I was just wondering, why is that the case?
I'm not familiar with I know of both cases, but not the details of both cases. Both Steve Kerr and Tiger Woods had to have repeated surgery. That most likely, I think one of them was because of spinal fluid leak. But yes, like all surgeries, they're not always 100% successful, and reoperation might be indicated. Hopefully, that is a rarity, not a common thing. But obviously, if a celebrity has that problem, it's better known. We don't hear about the ones the athletes, the celebrities that do well. They're not in the media as much as the ones that fail.
Oh, that would make sense too. Yeah,
all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for the call. But have you heard horror stories? Are there any have you heard procedures like where they, I don't know, when you hear about stories like cementing the vertebrae together, is that good? Yeah. What is that? Is that good or bad? What is that?
Well, it depends on the indications. If you just have routine back pain and bulging disc, and the surgeon decides to do surgery, that's probably not indicated. On the other hand, if you have a tumor or fracture or an injury to the spine, surgery is not only indicated, but it's also life-saving, certainly limb-saving, where you can continue moving your arms and legs. So depending on the circumstances, you do want to cement or fuse the spine in certain instances, but you have to have clear indication.
I found your book on Amazon. It's got a 5-star rating. You're getting good reviews from the people who've read it. Is it written so that I mean I know it's more of a biography than a technical book, but it's for the layperson, right? I'll be able to understand it.
Absolutely. One of the criteria when I sat down to do this was to have it so that the layperson will understand it. And it took 4 years with my ghostwriter, Jeannie Lombardo, to do this, but I think we got it done. And people that read it, that are not in the medical field, say, I understood that brain operation that you described in there. I did that spine operation as best as you can. I did try to make it understandable to the layperson.
The perseverance that your parents demonstrated, as you described earlier, do you think that contributed to your own, I don't want to say stubbornness, but your own insistence that you keep pushing forward in spite of the odds?
I think that definitely. I think what my dad, and then of course when my dad became ill, my mom had to be the head of the family. her perseverance of coming and taking 3 boys and a husband that really was not 100%, and coming to America in the late 50s. After being in post-World War II Germany, being a refugee in the western part, where we really weren't welcome since we were competing for the food and goods with the Western Germans. That perseverance that my parents showed certainly was instilled into me, yes.
Yeah.
Do you go to the patient, or does the patient come to you? Because you had the opportunity to work your magic on a Saudi queen.
Yes, in the beginning of my career, I tried to, have my name out there in the early 80s. It was, I just came to Phoenix and nobody knew me. But as my career moved on, the patients came to me, about 10% out of the country and about 20 to 30% out of the States. So I was very fortunate in the middle to later part of my career as far as patients coming to me.
Gosh.
What an honor to have you on our show, Doctor. Thank you for what you're doing. You're not retired, are you? Are you retired?
I'm retired in a way that I stopped operating several years ago, but I still do a tremendous amount of lecturing and hands-on demonstrations, and I just came back from a big meeting where I gave a couple of talks, so I'm still quite active.
Well, good luck with the book, and if you're ever in Florida, we would love to have you in the studio, and of course, if you're speaking at the local college or something, let us know. We'll be glad to promote it for you.
That's too bad. I was just visiting professor at University of Miami 6 weeks ago.
Oh, my.
Oh,
gosh.
Doctor, thank you for being on. The book is called Backbone. Go to Amazon and get it. Any bookstore. VolkerSonntag.com is the website, and it's a great slideshow with his family's pictures on it. Thank you, Doctor.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. We're hearing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle after closed meetings. Republicans pushing for final votes for a revised GOP health care proposal.
We want to have a situation where people can